Alright, what's up, my friends? Today, I'm going to show you how to customize the Bonsai theme. And this is what it would look like if you were a Bonsai customer. And basically, you would get a duplicate. You'd clone the Bonsai site. Might be slightly different. So that would give you just a normal Bonsai site like you've seen if you've seen these streams before. And now you have the ability to go in and customize the entire website without touching any code. So yeah, later on in the stream, I'm going to cover that first, how you would customize it as a customer. And then I'm going to dig into some deeper development with ACF Pro, which is what we're using to do all of this, advanced custom fields. We're going to be using some pro features today. Some stuff that we didn't really touch in the last video. That was just really basic. But now we're going to start building a dashboard for theme options where you can change your logo, the copy, different options, analytics, stuff like that. So we'll get a little more advanced, but first let's just dive right in, and I will show you guys how this is done. So I'm going to go to the staging site for Bonsai, and I'm going to log in. You would have a login for your site. Now let me pull this up in another tab so we can refresh it as we go. Alright, so this process is going to change a little bit over time. This isn't solidified, but it'll be something similar to this. So I'll do an update video if it gets too different from what we're doing here, but I'm just going to change maybe a little bit of the organization as we go. We're going to come into... Yeah, for the first things first, let's look at this logo. So we would come into global settings right here. And I believe this is just under global settings. Now this is an SVG that I'm using for my logo, for Bonsai logo. I think I would prefer it if people use SVGs because it will help with site performance and it'll look really crisp. But you could use a PNG if you wanted. I mean, you just want it to look good. So we're gonna use an SVG here. Let's see, what's an example of one? I have this jackalope logo down here. I could grab that for an example. Now, an SVG is just like a bunch of code. So I'm gonna take this SVG tag and just copy it. And then if I came into here and I pasted it in there, I think this is the new one, right? Yeah, logo. All right, so now there is a jackalope logo there. Now, if you don't know how to grab an SVG code, you just want to use something simple like a PNG. Let's grab a PNG somewhere. I don't even have one on the site though. PNG example, yes. How about this t-shirt? That would look really good. I just want to find something that's transparent. Copy. Let's open this image up. This site's gonna have a lot of PNGs, I hope. So let's see. I would go into inspect. I mean, this is a little more advanced, but I can just copy this image tag right here. It would go inside of an image tag, so it would look something like that. I don't know if that's gonna work because, let's see, needs the full URL. There we go. I think that should work. And then it looks like there's a little bug right there with this quote. Okay, let's see what that does. Yeah, we should have just tested the link. Anyways, that's how you would do it with any PNG. You need to host the image somewhere. So if you needed to host the image somewhere, I guess the best way to do that would actually be to come into media. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on showing PNGs, because I don't really have any desire for anyone to have PNGs on here. They're just not going to be as good as an SVG, but in some cases you have to, because your logo isn't even vectorized. But let's see what this does. Okay, that works. So then we just have to size it down. You could say height I'm gonna say actually 80 pixels, and then we'll do the same with the width. So you'd want to keep the same resolution. This is like going into graphic design territory right here. So if you can get an SVG, it might even not be the right size. So you might need to talk to somebody to talk to us if you need to really get that down. But that's just an example. So let me, oh no, I lost the original logo. I'll just grab it from Bonsai production site. So once again, the easiest way to do this would just be right click, inspect. Highlight this SVG tag, copy it, come in here, paste it, click update. And there we go. I'm going to be getting into changing icons as well. So you could grab an icon for a logo if you need like a temporary logo or something. But we'll be touching on that near the bottom. I'm just going to go from top to bottom basically. So right now, the only way that these are customizable, these Nav Bar tabs, would be to go into pages and actually find the corresponding page. So if we found explore, then we would come in here. And you could just change the name of it from explore to anything. You'd also want to make sure that this URL slug probably got updated with it, because if you just change this, it wouldn't automatically change. So if you went discover, it doesn't change that. And then on this page, you probably just want to type in some, if you wanted to type in, actually I don't think that page has the content block in it. So we'd get more into page customization down the road. I can do that in another stream, probably next week or something. But most of these pages are going to be ready to go out of the box. Alright, so I am logged in right now from this view, so I'm going to go into incognito. because it'll look a little different if you're a guest. So same as for any of these pages, pricing, docs, TV, you could change those to custom pages. Now we're going to get into actually editing this page. So that's just going into home page. So pages in the sidebar, and then where did home go? Oh, right there. So you have these tabs right here. Now this up here, you can delete that if you're not going to be using the Web3 stuff, but that's not really doing anything on the page other than that. So we just have these sections: hero, explore, pricing, FAQ. This is hero, this is explore, this is pricing, and this is FAQ. Let's start out in hero, Patreon of Web3. That's the H1, and then it's kind of in a weird order there because the H2 is above it. But the rest of it's top down. So then it's hero H3, hero H4. Now these ones are kind of cool because you could delete them. Did I not update that? There we go. And it just disappears. So it acts kind of like a check mark in a way. Like if it's gone, then it's not there. And if you put something in there, then it's going to show up. So I can delete H4 as well. And that would go away. Now we have the call to action primary, call to action secondary. That's just the icon and the text, and then the text on that one. So I will get into the icons now, I guess. These are font awesome icons. So you'll see this I tag in HTML. That's just the icon is being assigned by this CSS right here. And then this is assigning the color, and that's assigning just a little bit of margin on the right of it so that they're not touching. Give these two some space. Let's go to Font Awesome. Icons. Now we have a version right here. Bonsai is still on version 5 because version 6 just came out, I think earlier this year. So I'm going to select version 5, and then let's see. Alright, so this is FA play. So if you type in play, you'll find that right here. If you select it, it'll give you this little code snippet right here. That's the icon in HTML. And if you wanted it in SVG, you can also copy SVG code, which will make it big and messy as opposed to smaller and clean. But sometimes if you want to make little adjustments to it, you want to do it in SVG. But this will be easier, so you just want that. And if you wanted a different icon, you just search for it, and then select it, and you would just use this. Now, when you bring it over, you'll see that this also has the text white and the MR2. So if you wanted to replace it, then you just do text white and MR2, and everything would look good with that new icon. Interesting. I just need a minute to think about something. Actually, this is just a side note. I actually don't have all of the icons loading in right now because it saves on the load time of the website to not bring in all of the icons, only bring in the ones that we want to use. But I'll probably have to disable that so that people can use whatever icons they want. Maybe I'll find a way to do that in the theme options. Yeah, okay. That's something I'll have to work on in the next week or so. Meanwhile, just assume that you can use any icon you want. But I gotta go back to play on that one. Alright, let's move on. We'll do some more icon stuff towards the bottom. Now we're on CTA secondary. You could add an icon there if you wanted. Right now it just says sign up. So you can change those however you like. Now we're going to come into explore. Now if you are on the Sensei plan, you would have this explore section. And if you're not on the Sensei plan, then you won't have it. Now, one thing you can do, if you do have the option of having it, but say you didn't want it, you can actually remove it yourself. So I would just come into, let's see, where is that stored again? I'm gonna update these. Go to is it global settings? No, where did I put that stuff? Modals, head, footer. Was it on the home page? Yeah, I'm silly. Okay, it's right here. Explore, communities, and courses. So if you removed this, clicked update, refresh, that whole section's going to be gone. So it works just like the other ones where if it's removed, it's just not going to show up at all, that entire section. So you could rename this whatever you wanted, like groups, communities, subgroups, whatever. But yeah, same goes with courses right here. So if I update that, courses is gone and communities is there. Now the cool thing about courses is you could name this whatever type of product you wanted. So you could just say products and have an assortment of products, or you could be a specific category like courses. Now we're going to go into pricing. This is probably the biggest one. And it just goes top to bottom again. So here we go. Select a membership level, create a website for your community. Then we have tier 1 name, tier 1 icon. So here we are again with these icons. And this is a font awesome icon. what was it called? Campground. So I can just use that. It does have a couple other CSS classes with it, like I guess just text secondary, which gives it the secondary color. So that's what's giving it its color. You could put text primary, text info, text danger, text warning. This is all from Bootstrap. So you could just look up Twitter Bootstrap if you wanted to learn more about that. Tier 1 badge, custom domain and shared hosting. That's just this little thing right here. And then below that we have a list. If you're gonna edit, add, or change any of this, you just want to make sure you have these li tags around it. I'll probably clean those up later. I don't think you'll be dealing with too much HTML down the road, but this is the earliest version of this. I'm sure we can handle a little bit of HTML. Now we have the price, we have the annual plan, and I'll probably be adding a sales price, which if it's there, it will like strike out the other one. And if it's not there, then it will just not show up a sales price at all. Same goes for tier 2. Same exact thing. And for tier 3, we have the same exact thing. So that's all pretty simple. Now we get down to tier 4. Bonsai University and starter plan. These are just structured a little bit different with the layout, but they're basically the same. One different thing with this is that you can remove the name. And it will be gone. Same goes for tier 5. I'm just going to collapse that. I think that was everything. Was there anything I missed? I think there's one thing. Yeah, have a crypto wallet. So this one's cool too. This is the Web3 functionality right here. So if you click here, you'll see that I have all these these sign in with Ethereum options on the bottom. Even if you're signing up or logging in. Those are all there. Now, if I come in here and I remove that, click update, do a refresh. I think that one's still there. Yeah, I need to fix that one, but the rest of them will be gone. Gone, gone, gone. So that removes the whole Web3 functionality right there. I might put that one, I might move that one to the theme options, just like the logo, because it's a little more global than just a home page. But I guess if it's on the home page, then you could customize it if you wanted to have multiple pages. Some communities would have the option, some wouldn't. So maybe I'll leave that the same for now. Put it under pricing. That kind of makes sense for now, I think. Last, we have the FAQ form, and I'm sure you're starting to get the hang of this. It's just this right here, and then we have FAQ question 1 and answer 1, question 2, answer 2. These are in an accordion, so you can come in and change that however you want. I do have a little bit of HTML in mine, just adding some links and stuff, but nothing too crazy. Alright, I think that pretty much does it for the home page. Now let's come back and take a look at the theme options. So under global settings right here, we can go into modals. We already did the logo in global settings, but now we have modals. This is the preview modal, which is found right here. So that's just the name of it up top. And then we have the video, and then we have this text right here. This is a Wistia video embed. You could do a YouTube or whatever you wanted. Just a little bit of description about what they're signing up for, and that'll do it. I'll be adding more modal endo stuff in there in the future. Now for the head, this is a little more advanced. I don't think most customers will really be touching this too much on a basic level, but this is where you could put in analytics. So this is a Hotjar tracking code. You could take a Google Analytics snippet, put it in here. You could take a Google Tag Manager or a Facebook Pixel, anything like that. You can drop it right in there. Now if I go into footer, we have link 1 URL and icon, link 2 URL and icon, link 3 URL and icon. These are the social media buttons at the bottom here. So if you want to customize these, you're going to come into Font Awesome. You're going to find the icon that you want, say Twitter. Grab it, grab this, find the one you want to replace, paste it, and notice that these other ones have mute. That is just giving it the color, just kind of fading it. Of course, I don't have Twitter loaded into the theme. This is where I could get into some more of the advanced stuff. Yeah, I'll touch on some of that stuff in a minute. I just want to cover some other more basic stuff before we go there. So what I'm going to be working on today is adding a functionality where you can add or remove the amount of pages you want up here. And I'm probably going to do that with a text box. I have this built pretty simply at the moment, where all you have to do if you want to customize that is to go into that page and change the name of the page, and it's pulling the name of that page by its ID. So I don't really want to make it super customizable up here. I think you can just enable or disable it is the most simple functionality. So I'm going to be doing that. That's some of the pro features we'll probably be touching on today. We'll build that in global settings right here. We'll have one of these options called Nav Bar probably. We could probably rename global settings to Nav Bar because the logo's in there. No, there's a logo on multiple points of the site, even in the footer, so I'll keep that global. And then down here it'll be the same thing. There will be an option under footer, and I will probably just have some checkboxes or something that you can enable or disable these. But these work the same way. If you want to change these, find the page and change the name of the page and edit it. We'll be getting more into that in probably the next episode, one of the upcoming ones, but that will probably involve doing some stuff like going into a page, and I'll use docs as an example because I know this is using a page template. So you see where it says template right here, docs template. This is a hard-coded template, And this is overriding everything on this page. So if you wanted to do default template, set it to that, you could come in here and start adding some blocks and stuff in there. So getting this to a point where it will be no code one day. And then one of the biggest next steps we're going to take is going to be adding all of these fields that you can edit on the front end. So you don't even have to touch this back end part of the site that looks like this. You can just hit a edit button, come in here and start editing. I can get a basic version of that working within a few hours, but that'll really need some finessing to make it a worthy feature. Alright, so that pretty much covers customizing the theme. Let's get advanced. Alrighty, first things first, we're going to open up iTerm. Come into Bonsai, Vagrant up. Scripts. And run start. I cover this in plenty of other videos. I am just booting up the virtual machine to work locally right now, which is just running a server on my computer, which is going to slow things down a little bit, so bear with me. And this is where I run all of my scripts from in my second tab. In my third tab, we're going to yarn run start the theme, which will launch live reload. And it will compile all of our updates automatically right before our eyes. I'm gonna go take a little break. Be right back. All right. I know I don't think I really touched on this much. I might have mentioned it, but this update is finally the singularity, I'm calling it, of having one theme across all customers. So when we're making all of these edits and customizations to the site on this back end, it's all being stored in the database, and none of it's being hard coded into the theme, which is amazing because now I can code on Bonsai, test the update, and once I've tested it, I can push it out to all of our customers instantly and have the updates reflected without having to go in and potentially break different people's customizations, which gives us the ability to serve hundreds or thousands of customers at a time, which there's no way it could be done without this update. If each customer had their own custom theme, it'd be maintainable, but you couldn't update their sites. It would just be a living nightmare. You might as well just forget about updates, and then you'd get security vulnerabilities. You'd get deprecated code from different projects like Bootstrap and Font Awesome, and all of these different packages would just start breaking after a long enough time. It'd probably last for years and years, but it wouldn't be the most optimized or secure. So this is pretty awesome, pretty sweet. Alright, a few other things we're going to need to do is like customizing this very bottom footer part. I want the ability to remove this part because the version is useful for me. If I need to know the version in the code, I can look on the back end or whatever, but that's not really necessary for the customers, so they can remove that. And then also customizing this logo down there, that's one other part I forgot. And then so we'll do that real quick, and then we'll get into adding those little checkboxes for adding or removing different pages up here. If I was feeling fancy, which I don't think I am, I would use the repeater field, which is a pro feature for ACF, and it allows you to basically add infinite amount of fields that you want. I think it uses some type of loop. I haven't done it before, so I don't want to dig into it for the first time on stream. We will definitely be using that for like these communities. So if you add more communities, or we'll also be using that for probably these courses. Maybe not for the courses, but for something that you could basically add as many as you wanted, that would be a good use for it. I don't think that's super applicable up here, because I don't think you should add more than like 5 up here. So maybe I'll add a 5th one. And then down here, yeah, I think you could have a ton of footer links, so maybe that would be a good example of the repeating fields. But let's just do it simple, quick and dirty right now, and let's get to work. Let me take some notes from the stream earlier so that I don't forget some things. Let's see. There was a couple things that crossed my mind. Here, I'll just get organized real quick. So we're gonna do the footer version number removable. I think we can keep this for now until anyone really starts requesting doing custom stuff down here. We will want to add the privacy page. I think this is a broken link at the moment. And the logo. Just anything anyone would want to custom, we got to add it to the database. So I think that's good for now, just in the footer. Then we'll jump to the footer pages. And then we will move to the Nav Bar. Which will be adding, removing pages. And then I remembered the other thing was we want to load in all font awesome icons. I think if we can get through that, that'd be pretty good. So, version number. Yeah. We'll put this just in the footer section under the global options. So I'm actually in staging site right now. So we're going to come back to localhost, and then I'll open up bonsai.test. All right. Here we go. We have GitHub open. I just did a couple little changes to the script. All right. We're going to come into custom fields. Footer. Try out some new music. Oh yeah, I like these guys, Melodyne. All right, we are in the footer field group right now. So these are the social media links. So probably above them is where I'd want to add this. Keep it in order, so these ones, and then yeah, we'll edit these before, but we might add those later. Yeah, we're doing those later, so let's do just the version number for now. Gonna need to open up the code. To web app themes, Bonsai, resources, views, partials, footer, and the version is right here, components version number. So that's actually in right here. I think we can keep that for now. I'm just going to put let me just grab the code snippet I will need. PHP, the field preview modal name option. This is the PHP version. I have a cleaner syntax I might try out in a second here, but let's just get this working in the Blade syntax first. So what are we going to call this one? We'll call it footer badge. Hit save. I'm going to come over here, say footer badge default value. Let's see, do we want them to be able to remove the badge part of it? For now, no. So it's just version 11. You'll see it's gone here, so if we refresh it, but it probably won't work unless we come to our home page first. Wait, no, it's not. It's not on the home page. This is a global footer, so I have it under global settings. If you come under footer, that's where it should be. And then we have footer badge. Let's just click update. Refresh, and that should show up down here. And it's back. All right. So that's located in there now. What else we got? That's the version number, and we have the logo and the pages. Coming back into footer. We've got this logo right down here. I'm just gonna open up SVG, find logo.php. Copy that SVG. And then in here, we're gonna put, instead, we'll be calling it footer logo. We're going to add a new one in here. Footer logo. Its default value will be this SVG that we copied. Update. this. Okay, it's not quite there yet. Let's try that again. There we go. Now we'll just hit update. It's not showing up yet. Sometimes it just takes a minute. Did we save that in here? Yeah. Logo option. Give it another refresh. Still not there, huh? Let's update this again. Says it should be updated. There it is. All right, so you could pop an SVG or one of those one of those fun, awesome icons, whatever, even a PNG in there if you want. There's the footer logo. And then this one is just the same as this top logo, no matter what, but you could have a different one if you wanted to do like a separate branding, or if like an agency was using this, whatever. Alright, so now we're going to give the ability to add or remove pages from this footer. So you probably at least want the top 3 or so. I think I might swap those. Explore, pricing, docs, TV. Yeah, that works. And those are right here, so it's grabbing, nope, sorry, those are right here. So it's grabbing title 134, that's the page ID number. So it's grabbing those pages based off the page ID. Now what I'm going to do is provide an option that's basically arbitrary. Let's see how this works. I've never done this before. So I'm going to come in here. Can I do a checkbox? Yep. So let's call this footer page 1. I will add a little bit of instructions. No, I don't think it needs instructions really. Enter each choice on a new line. You may specify both a value and label like this, red. Interesting. Okay, let's just try this as its own separate field for now. So we'll call this page 1. Enter each default value on a new line. Page 1, vertical, horizontal, toggle, return value, label both array, conditional logic. Wow, these can get pretty intense. Let's just try with this one for now. So that's footer page 1. And what I'm going to do is say I need this if statement. Let me try and find that snippet that I was using yesterday. Footer page 1. So we're going to say if it's this, and if we wanted to show something else, if it wasn't checked, then we could add an else statement right here. And then whatever else we wanted to show, if that checkbox wasn't checked, we could show in here. But we only want it to be binary, like if it's checked, it's there. If it's not checked, it's not there. So we just need one little if statement per field. So we'll put another one right here. We're going to call this 4, I believe, because it's below it. That'll work for now. Doesn't really matter. And then same goes here. It's going to be footer page 2. And if same goes here. For page 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 4 goes beneath 1. We'll probably adjust that later, but that should do it for now. So let's come in here. Let's make sure that that showed up within the global footer settings. Here we have this checkbox. Let's see how it works. I think the other ones should be missing since I haven't created those yet, and then this one should be there since the check is marked, but I could have that backwards. Maybe I'm going about this the complete wrong way. This was just what seemed intuitive to me. So footer page 1, if there's a field for footer page 1, then show that. And here we have footer page 1. Here we have it checked. Let's just make sure it's not the computer being slow. Took a while for it to show up last time. But I feel like I could have sub options within that, and I haven't messed much with sub options yet. ACF is a pretty powerful deep tool, just even touching the surface of it. Okay, so nothing's there. Now we get to do a little bit of live learning. Okay, we want ACF if field checkbox is checked. Hopefully they have a code snippet for me to use here. You could do it colors. That's cool. Display labels in a list. Conditional logic. This example demonstrates how to check if the choice red was selected if the field's value. If do something. So I think it would be similar to this. So colors in the field colors, if that variable is in the array red, colors do something. So it's looking for the value. I don't really need the value. I could do maybe a selection of enabled, disabled. Would that be? Because we could do true, false. Because I don't really need the value. Displays text alongside the checkbox. Page 1. Instructions. Default value will be checked. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what that would look like. ACF if field true, false. And that's updated. Refresh this. Conditional. This example demonstrates how to use the value of enable sidebar to conditionally do a task. If give field color, do something. Okay, I think that should work then. Because it's just grabbing the field. If give field color, do something. Okay, I think that's it. Did that not update? That should be saved. Yeah, it's a true false. Didn't seem to be updating. False. Does it show up as a checkbox here? It's just weird. Why? Well, I think it's supposed to be a little toggle switch, not a checkbox, but maybe in the back end it shows up as a checkbox. Let's see. This is acting really weird. I might just delete this to see what's going on. Update. Try adding it again. This is footer page 1, footer page 1, true, false. Maybe it is a checkbox. But it's just an if statement on that tag. Let's see, did I do something wrong? Yeah. Here's what I did wrong. This is supposed to be option, right? Yep. All right, I think that was the problem. There we go. There it is. So we just need to do the same with all of these. And then we need to add them in here. I'm just going to duplicate for page 2. Page 3 enabled. Enabled. Update. Okay, I'm going to leave those all enabled. Update this. I'll check this out. And there they are. So now if I came in here and I disabled page 4, there you go. It is gone. Now I'm going to enable it again. And I will probably be adding more pages in there, but for now I think that's good. Now we're going to do the same thing for the nav bar. So we're going to need to add an option for nav bar under here. Now let's go back into our project. I'm going to go into our theme under app. Admin is where you set that. So I'm going to do this in why is this stuck? I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. So it'll go head, modal, and then nav bar right here. Nav bar settings, nav bar under global settings. And that'll pop up under there. The next thing we're going to need is to add a field group for it. So let's just go to add new. Say nav bar. This will show up on nav bar settings, and then we're going to say page 1, nav bar, page 1, true, false. Do you want to enable page 1? Default enabled. Now we will duplicate, go to page 2. Duplicate page 3. Duplicate page 4. We'll probably add 5 or 6 options in there eventually, but let's just get this done first. So we're going to come under global settings, nav bar. Alright, that'll work. Now we need to come back into, we're going to go into resources, views, partials, header. I don't know why I like to call it nav bar over header. I think a header is, it could be a bigger component, or a nav bar is just like a thin line of pages to log in and stuff. At least in my mind. Alright, so we have this right here. We're going to take this, drop that, if right here, don't forget the option part, and this will be Nav Bar, page 1. And if there's probably a cleaner way to do this, but I'm still learning the ropes with ACF. Alright, so this will be number 2. I'll just go like this. Two, 3, 4. Alrighty, and then we're probably going to want to do the same thing here. This is like the little drop down if you're on mobile. Two, 3, 4. Okie dokie. That should do it. I can probably clean up some of this code. Drop down. Corner CTA. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to keep that. Okay, let's check this out. So we've got that here. I don't think we updated this yet. Let's just click update. Alright, so let's say, oh cool, they're not there. And now, I mean, I don't know if that's cool, but let's see. It should be updated. Nav Bar, page 1. Nav Bar, page 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should be working. Just make sure this is updated. It's all just computer performance issues when I'm streaming. It really starts messing with stuff. Ideally, you do a 2 PC stream, but I don't always want to set that up. It can take some time to set up. I'd have to basically always be set up for it. Come on, baby. There we go. And if I come in here and I uncheck number 4, Come on, baby. You got this. It's just taking so long. That should work though. There we go. All right, that is working. So now you can control those pages up here or down here. We'll be adding more. You know, the big thing is, I think the next big thing I need to do is basically clean the database and go from scratch so that like this ID number is like 3, 4, 5, 6, because homepage is going to be number 2. I forget what takes up ID number 1. That's maybe my biggest issue moving forward, is making sure that all the ID numbers are correct. That way I can maintain this theme across all of the customers. If those get out of whack, then that's just going to be a pain. So that's one of the next big steps I need to do. Luckily, I have a lot of practice doing that. In these scripts, you'll see this command, wp development db clean. That cleans the entire database, and then I start from scratch and just start creating pages from here. I even delete. Oh, I delete page number 1. That's probably the privacy policy one. I don't know why I delete that. But yeah, we can pull content in from HTML files or whatever. It can get pretty complex. But I think that's pretty easy to maintain for now. Once I did have hundreds of customers maintained under Bonsai, that might become an issue, but for now, it's not too bad. But that will be one of the next big updates, probably, is making sure the database is super clean and all the ID numbers are as low as they can be, so we don't have like these number 134s and stuff like that. Honestly, that's kind of arbitrary. Like, that doesn't really ever need to be changed. Most people won't be seeing the hard code version with the ID number in the end is 2 more digits. Really that big of a deal? Probably not. But let me check my list. Removing pages, load in all font awesome icons. I'm trying to remember how I did that originally. Let's go into web app themes, Bonsai, resources, assets, scripts, routes, common. So I'm like custom bringing in certain ones now. I know at first I wasn't, so I could actually just go to my GitHub, find like the old Bonsai project. Might even be on this one. When was the last time I updated this? $14 months ago. Yeah, I think it's probably good. Let's see. Site, web, app, themes, Bonsai, resources, assets, scripts, routes, common. Nope, I was bringing them in individually back then too. So that's Bonsai example. Let's go look at my repositories. On like my very first Bonsai project. Bonsai test v1. Sage. Yeah, it's back before I even called it Bonsai. Resources, assets, scripts, routes, comment. Nope, that was too early. How many bonsai tests did I have? No, let's just look this up. Font. Awesome. Roots.io. Here we go. Yeah, then we just pull in these full libraries. I think I have them added already, but library DOM from Ford Awesome, Font Awesome, SVG Core. Okay, I think what I do is just remove this part and do maybe library DOM. I'm trying to remember. This method is not for you. Instead, load Font Awesome from their CDN and put the desired icons in your markup. Alright, let's just go with my intuition, see what this does. Because I know I had something like this originally, and this would bring in all the icons. It just really slows it down. So maybe I want to figure out a way to do this in code snippets. The plugin. Let's see if that breaks anything. Library has already been declared. How did I do that? How to use Font Awesome 5 in Sage. Is that the one that I used originally? You can close out of this stuff for now. Yeah. I'm declaring them individually. Import fab from, oh, it's, I'm silly. I'm super silly. Okay, so this is what you would do if you wanted to use any icon. Comment this out, comment this out, comment this out, and then comment this in, comment this in, comment this in. So that's solid, regular, and brands. you could do more if you wanted to, because there's solid, regular, brands, free, solid, pro. Oh, that's pro solid. Okay. Yeah, then there's light, pro. I think that might be free now, but I haven't brought it in and tried it. But that'll just slow things down a little bit. Now it should give you access to using any of the icons you want. And now it's telling us none of that is defined, because none of that needs to be defined. We can just comment all those out. Maybe I would take this and do FAS, gas, FAS, FAR, FAB. There we go. All the icons are working. So maybe that's one difference I will have, just because I remember playing around with it at one point and it seemed to add quite a bit of load time just to bring in all those icons. And apparently bringing in the CDN is even slower, but maybe that's what I would do actually for now. If somebody, I wonder how much load time it adds. We can actually test that out. So what we'll do, this is all looking good. I think we've done enough work for today. Let me just, now we're on an infinite reload loop. But let me test something. So if I wanted to pull any Font Awesome icon, I should be able to grab any brands, right? So let's test this. We're going to come into footer. All right, we have Instagram, YouTube, GitHub. In place of YouTube, let's just say Twitter, Twitter. Haven't compiled this version, so it might just be missing because of that. Let's try localhost. Meanwhile, we can make sure we got it right, but it should just be Twitter, right? Anyways, things are getting slow enough on the computer that I'm about ready to be done. Yeah, I don't understand why that would not be working. Let's try. Grabbing Twitter, FA brands, FA Twitter, FA-brands, FA Twitter. Why was it never like that before? I just do FA, FAB, FA Twitter. Is that an update? Yeah, now this whole thing's freaking out. This thing is just going so slow, it's driving me nuts. FAB, FA Twitter. I'll put 2 of them in there just to test it out. Yeah, I've just got this freaking live reload loop going on. Come on, baby. That's so odd. FA Twitter. Well, in theory that should be working, but it's not even updating to these 2 because it's just so slow from streaming right now. I'm gonna have to start doing this 2 PC setup or upgrade my MacBook or something, because I don't know. I guess it helps me keep focused on the stream, but it's just annoying when things are taking forever like this, and I've been dealing with this for as long as I've been streaming. It's nothing new. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it for today. So we walked through how to customize the entire theme, customize all of this, customize the pages, the text, remove these sections, remove different products, customize all of this, customize the icons, the frequently asked questions, and the footer. I'm pretty much everything is customizable yet. Like, for example, this isn't. I probably will make that in case, say there's like a solo person running a website. They wouldn't really want to say us. They'd probably say follow me or just follow. You could even just put the site name. I could put the site name there, so just follow Bonsai or follow whatever your site's called. Did I disable the TV? I thought I enabled that. Let's go to Nav Bar. Gotta re-enable that one. And now I'm just gonna commit it. Pretty much done with the stream, but if anyone wants to stick around for that, feel free. Added footer, ACF fields, and Nav Bar footer page checkboxes. I think for now, I'm not going to use this method. I might do that in the future, but another thing I might do is if somebody wants to add custom icons, they could just come into head, and then they could add the Font Awesome CDN in there, and that would give them access to the full library, and then I could optimize it later. I'd probably want to do that somehow in the snippets. Yeah, I think I could do that in the snippets. That way you could really optimize a site. I'll probably do that for some customers at first, and then down the road I'll have training, and that'll kind of be up to the customer if they want to go the extra mile to optimize all the icons and stuff, because it's quite a pain in the ass just to load in some icons a little bit faster. I care about that kind of stuff, and a lot of people probably won't as much as I do, which is why I'm making it a little bit more difficult than just enabling all of them and slowing everything down. But we're not going to touch that yet. We are on version 10.6. So we just commit these changes to GitHub, come into our scripts, and we're going to say staging. This will reset the staging that we were messing with earlier on the stream, so no need to reset any of that, because if we come into the staging script, very last line takes the development server and migrates it to staging. All right, I'm just gonna let this run for the next couple minutes. I'll be right back. Just migrating that database right now. One thing I should do when I'm streaming lately is do the database work on the staging environment, because that would be putting the load balance on the server instead of the server that's on my machine. I usually always like to work locally, but when I'm streaming, that would make sense for the streaming processing power to be put on my computer, and then if I work on the staging environment, it can speed things up a lot. Alright, what's going on here? I'm just gonna close out of this local stuff. What in the world? Ooh, I had a timeout. I wonder if DigitalOcean might have went down for a second. Let's make sure Google's running. Google is running. Reddit is running. Why is this server not running? Production server is running. It's so weird. Let's run the database one more time. So it's just going to be sync. We're going to go from development to staging. Yes. Unable to connect to staging. That is so odd. Okay, I'm going to try and SSH into it with SSH web at staging.bonsai.so. Seems like the whole server is down. It's so strange. Alright, so one thing I might do in this situation, I'm going to try root. That might even be blocked out. But it seems like the server might need a restart. So what you would do in this situation, I kind of just want to cut the stream, but this shouldn't be too bad. I don't want to end on a bad note. I've never really run into this issue before. Maybe like a time or two in the thousands of servers and deployments I've done. That was weird. So what I'm going to do is come into come into Bonsai.so. Come into staging, and I think I'm just going to reboot it because it is acting so strange. Turn off. turn it back on. Just gonna log this. And we're back. If anyone comes into that issue, I'll try and publish that somewhere that SEO could grab it. Yeah, it's working now. Did that deployment work? Yeah, it did. Odd. So, oh, it did put that Twitter thing there, so the database part worked. Let's see if we can go in there and change that just to make sure everything's working. So that's under global settings, footer. Instead of Twitter, we're gonna say YouTube. All right, that's back. Cool. Well, everything's up on the staging side now. I'm going to be doing some more work on this, but this should be a pretty good overview of the more advanced customization options we're adding in. So, on that note, stay cool, my babies, and I will be back probably next week. Peace.